Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Jurassic June 2026. Jurassic June, for those who don't know, is a little event that I do every year where I tell a dinosaur fact every day for the month of June. And this year we're doing it a little different. Normally I just post a story every day as that last 24 hours. But this year I asked you guys, but you guys would also have wanted Instagram Reels. So in these Instagram Reels, I'm going to explain a little bit more fun facts. I'm going to tell a little bit of the history and quotations just a bit more. Today's dinosaur was Spinosaurus mirabilis, also known as the astonishing Spinosaur, kind of translation from its, Latin name, which was found in the outcrops of the late Cretaceous Rock Formation of Niger. And one of the major reasons this was such a big discovery was because this is the first Spinosaurus species in over a century to be described, with the other species in the genus Spinosaurus being Egypticus, the one that you know from Jurassic Park, literally anything when you think of the word Spinosaurus. Mirabilis was found a lot more inland, according to the sediment. It was likely near freshwater, more rivery kind of environments, and it was likely hunting like a heron that you see today, where it stands in the water and snatches down capturing fish from shallower waters, which it gets its nickname, the hell heron, which is really cool. It's known primarily by skull material, and it shows Mirabilis' snout was thinner in bone structure compared to Egypticus, which is its, holotype of the genus. But the thing that makes it so important to our discovery is a very notable feature, also known as its very large scimitar-shaped crest that was located near the nasal and prefrontal bones, which, if you were to look at the dinosaur, would be right around here. And Egypticus did have a crest. Spinosaurus egypticus did have a crest. It was just tiny. This was over 20 centimeters tall. Like, this was huge, and it was scimitar-shaped. It was a unicorn. But similar to modern avians, like cassowaries, Mirabilis would have had a keratin shell covering the crest, making it even longer in life. This crest is, I believe, the largest crest of any known theropod as of right now. Well, I think that's the kind of fun facts I'll give for today. Tune in for tomorrow. I have a really fun one. A new species, I believe, is tomorrow. Yeah. So, enjoy it. I'm Ante. Thank you. See you next time. Howdy, everyone. Welcome to Jurassic June, Day 2. For those who are new or don't know, Jurassic June is the series that I do every June where I post a new dinosaur every day for the entire month of June. So 30 dinosaurs in 30 days. I share facts and I share just really cool interpretations of them on my story. But this year we're doing it a little bit differently. I'll be recording these Instagram Reels as well. Today's dinosaur of the day, June 2nd, 2026, is Cank australis, which is a brand new discovery within the last few weeks. Cank australis translates to elder rhea from the south, and this was discovered in the Maastrichtian Age, or late Cretaceous, Chorio Formation, which is located in southwest Patagonia, specifically in Argentina, and the holotype specimen had contained only a single vertebra, but 3 pedal phalanges and 5 teeth had also been found in the same spot as this holotype. Those who don't know, the holotype is what you need to describe a genus, or describe a species even, too. The genus name of Cank refers to the elder rhea, who in Ion Kek mythos, created the constellation of the Southern Cross, or Troyos. I don't know. Cank australis is part of the family known as the Unenligade, I think. That's how it's pronounced. Dinosaur names are impossible to pronounce sometimes. Meaning it's the relative of a really, really cool raptor, that of Ostroraptor, meaning it's also a close relative to that of the dromaeosaurs, things like Velociraptor and Utahraptor. This neck vertebrae of Cank australis indicated a behavior of fishing. Literally, think of a heron snatching down and grabbing food in the waters. That's what Kenk australis would have done. It would have lived in a wetland environment, both in terrestrial and freshwater conditions, so not coastal environments. And its fossils have been found around numerous fish remains. And then Kenk australis is currently the only species in the genus of Kenk, similar to how the Spinosaurus aegypticus was the only Spinosaur for so long. Well, that was today's dinosaur of the day. I know it's a little shorter than yesterday, but it is a brand new species being described, so there's not too much information out just yet. I would continue to look into it, though. It is really cool. Read the papers. I look forward to seeing y'all guys again tomorrow. Catch you later. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to day 3 of Jurassic June. For those of you who don't know, Jurassic June is an event that I do every year where I share a new dinosaur of the day for the entire month of June, for every day of June. Today's dinosaur of the day is Eutyrannus holly, aka the beautiful feather tyrant. It was discovered in Batu Yingzi in the Liaoning province, China, probably found in a layer of the Yixian formation, which dates from the Barremian, which is early Cretaceous. The Eutyrannus is known from 3 almost complete fossil specimens, that being an adult, subadult, and juvenile specimen. And the holotype specimen is the largest specimen, which is a nearly complete skeleton with a skull compressed on a slab of an adult individual. In life, Eutyrannus was probably around 10 meters in length and had an estimated weight of about 1,414 kilograms. One of the really interesting things about Eutyrannus is, as a theropod, it had direct evidence of feathers in fossil imprints. The feathers would have been longer in life, up to around 20 centimeters, and the environment of Eutyrannus would have been a warm, temperate, cool, and wet landscape filled with coniferous trees, abundant lakes, and a lot of active volcanoes, with an estimated temperature of around 10 degrees Celsius, and it would have been colder in winter and mild in the summer. A lot of paleontologists and paleo environment ecologists say that it would have likely been like a kind of that same kind of environment of a Canadian rainforest, I believe is what I was reading about. One of the really cool nicknames that we call Eutyrannus is the Snow King, as it would have been considered a Arctic dinosaur, which a lot of people believe that it had a white coating, kind of similar to polar bears today, just like last year's Nanukosaurus that I talked about. Well, that's really all I have about Eutyrannus today. But it is a really cool dinosaur. Please look into it some more. It is really interesting, and it is a direct in quotations, relative to the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So, it's really interesting. It's a Pro-Tyrannus. So, take a look into it. Have fun, y'all. Catch you later. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to day 4 of Jurassic June. For those of you who do not know what Jurassic June is a series I do every year in which I give a new dinosaur every day for the entirety of June. Today's dinosaur was Dreadnoughtus schrani, aka Schron's Fearless. It was discovered in 2005 in the Cerro Fortaleza formation in the Santa Cruz province, Patagonia, Argentina. And due to the large size of the bones and the remote location it was found, it took the team about 4 full summers to fully excavate the remains. The holotype consists of a partial specimen which was somewhat preserved in its original layout, and the paratype specimen consists of a partially articulated postcranial skeleton of a slightly smaller individual whose remains were discovered in the same location as the holotype. And, like most sauropods, Dreadnoughtus would have had air sacs in contact at the bases of all of its neural spines. In life, the approximate dimensions of Dreadnoughtus would have been huge. It would have weighed around 49,000 kilograms at maximum mass and around 26 meters in length, meaning it would have stood around 2 full stories tall, to put that into perspective. And
the tail of Dreadnoughtus would have been 9 meters, which is insane. And this tail was extremely muscular and powerful. It featured large chevron bones for muscle attachment, similar to modern-day crocodilians. And this tail may not have been very flexible in life, but it mainly acted as a counterbalance for its massive neck, which even for a sauropod was weirdly long compared to its torso. But the strength does suggest it could have been used as a club-like weapon to fend off from large theropods that would have tried to hunt it and its young. Kind of giving the reason why it was the Fearless, because it would have swung these crazy heavy tails at these large theropods. Just imagine a giant, thick club that weighs hundreds, if not thousands of pounds, coming at you by the strongest man you know. And that's what it probably would have felt like, times a million still. Something really interesting about Dreadnoughtus, though, is because it is terrestrial, it had reached unknowingly large sizes. It is really hard for terrestrial animals, specifically terrestrial vertebrates, to reach huge sizes without living semi-aquatic or fully aquatic lifestyles, because there is no buoyancy. We have no buoyancy on land. Buoyancy is what allows these sperm whales and massive whales to get, well, massive. So it's really impressive how Dreadnoughtus came to be almost 50,000 kilograms, because it would have been a lot heavier if we converted to pounds. But that's really all I have to say today about Dreadnoughtus Shrani. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Day 5 of Jurassic June. If you do not know what Jurassic June is a series I do every year in which I give a new dinosaur every day for the entire month of June. Today's dinosaur was Tyrannosaurus micraensis, aka the tyrant lizard from McRae. It was found in the Hall Lake Formation in New Mexico and was officially described in 2024. Tyrannosaurus micraensis is the first official second species of Tyrannosaurus, and of course the other being the famous Tyrannosaurus rex, the one everyone knows. Tyrannosaurus micraensis would have lived around 7 million years before the reign of T-Rex, meaning that this came before T-Rex entirely. Tyrannosaurus micraensis would have reached approximately 12 meters in length and weighed around 8 full metric tons, around the same weight as T-Rex. But although they weighed similarly, Tyrannosaurus micraensis would have had a slender skull with a shallower jaw and blunter teeth, which means it would have had a weaker bite force than the king of the dinosaurs. The holotype specimen consists of a partial skull and had originally been misidentified as T-Rex until researchers noticed some small morphological differences. But throughout that dig, some of the features of T. micraensis was actually T-Rex. So they, although misidentified the whole thing as Rex at first, and then officially became T. micraensis, there were still parts of a Rex there, in some way. Similar to Spinosaurus mirabilis, the reason Tyrannosaurus micraensis is so important is because of the way we can use it to understand the evolution of the genus and Tyrannosaurus rex. Because, well, we've gone almost 100 years without a second species in the genus of Tyrannosaurus, meaning we didn't know 100% what the reign of T-Rex was, kind of how it got there, not a full story yet. We didn't have any direct, in quotation, relatives. And a very popular image you see related to T-Rex, similar to the one I put on my story today, is popularly associated with T-Rex. But it is actually completely wrong, and it is T. micraensis, and was used to, well, publish what T. micraensis would have looked like. Fun facts, and you can prove that to other people now. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Have a good one. Catch you tomorrow. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Day 6 of Jurassic June. For those of you guys who do not know, Jurassic June is a series I do every day in which I give a new dinosaur throughout the month of June. Today's dinosaur was Nanotyrannus lancensis, aka the pygmy tyrant from the Lance Formation. It's a Nanotyrannus species that has had plenty of controversy surrounding it. When it was first discovered, it was described as a new species of Gorgosaurus, another theropod dinosaur. Later, in 1988, it was described as being a new genus and species, that being Nanotyrannus lancensis. And then, while doing research on the specimen, they had discovered that the skull belonged to an immature animal, which led to the thought of it being a juvenile Tyrannosaurus rex. And then, just recently, I'm glad to say, as of, I think, December-ish 2025, really late 2025, it was redescribed as a unique species and genus of a mature individual, and we have a second Nanotyrannus species. Nanotyrannus lancensis would have been a slender, agile predator, approximately about 5 meters long and weighing around 704 kilograms as an adult, so it was much smaller compared to other theropods. And a unique characterization of Nanotyrannus lancensis is that it had more teeth than an adult T-Rex, around 15 to 16 teeth on each side of the maxilla, which is the upper jaw, and 16 to 18 teeth on each side of the dentary, which is the lower jaw. Whereas adult T-Rex had 11 to 12 tooth positions in the maxilla and 12 to 13 in the dentary. The Nanotyrannus lancensis, if you guys know what the dueling dinosaur fossil is, if not, I will show a photo right now. That theropod is actually a Nanotyrannus, is what we discovered, and or at least what I was reading, and that's really interesting because it just gives a lot of history of a very controversial species and genus. Although it has had a very rough, controversial history, I am very glad to see that it is a unique, valid genus and species, and the validity of that genus and species does suggest so much more predator diversity within the late Cretaceous and throughout Mesozoic times, which means so much because it shows so much more biodiversity in such a, well, unknown time, because it's still, we may know hundreds of species, that there still could be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands more. And then Nanotyrannus lancensis likely occupied a mid-sized niche, possibly competing with juvenile T-Rex, just like it used to for species title. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to day 7 of Jurassic June 2026. For those of you who don't know or are new to this, Jurassic June is a series I do every year in which I give a new dinosaur every day throughout the entire month of June. Today's dinosaur of the day was Albertosaurus sarcophagus, aka the flesh-eating Alberta lizard. It lived around 71 million years ago and was restricted in the range of modern-day Alberta, which, of course, the genus is named after. The namesake of Alberta, so Alberta, was established the same year that Albertosaurus sarcophagus was first discovered, I mean. Since the first discovery back in 1884, fossils of more than 30 individuals have been recovered, which has given scientists a more detailed knowledge of the anatomy of Albertosaurus sarcophagus than what is available for most theropods and tyrannosaurids specifically. Albertosaurus sarcophagus is certainly large for a theropod, filling that same kind of large theropod niche that T-Rex would have done, but it's still much smaller than that, than T-Rex, only growing up to 9 meters in length and about 3 metric tons in weight. Albertosaurus sarcophagus would have shared a similar body plan to that of Gorgosaurus and Gorgosaurids. Albertosaurus sarcophagus was bipedal, with a very large, heavy head and torso that was paired with a long, muscular tail to help balance it. If you don't know the theropods, like T-Rex and Tyrannosaurids, I'll say for now. Those big, heavy theropods with very extremely large heads and long tails are made to help balance each other, which is why most of them have extremely small arms, because, well, their head does everything their arms need to do, and having so much more frontal weight means, well, you're going to be forward heavy and you're going to fall. Albertosaurus sarcophagus is closest related to Gorgosaurus libratus, which branches off right before the Tyrannosaurinae branch of the theropod family, meaning it's still related to T-Rex, just not extremely close. And then, finally, the thing that I find coolest is Albertosaurus sarcophagus may have exhibited pack behavior. The dry island bone bed contained around 26 different specimens of Albertosaurus that had all died together. The lack of any herbivores around strays away from the idea of a predator trap, like the La Brea tar pits, for example, in California, which I totally recommend you should go. I would love to go there. Although I think it closes next month for a remodel, so go before it closes. It is like a dream visit. The group was composed of one very old adult, then 8 adults that were around the age range of 17 to 23, 7 subadults undergoing their version of puberty, pretty much, so that growth stage of aging from 12 and 16, and finally 6 juveniles between the ages of 2 and 11 that had not reached that growth phase yet. So, in my eyes, it may have been a family unit kind of thing, but kind of like a wolf pack, but who knows? There's not enough evidence just yet, and it could also just been a crazy flood that happened and it killed them all right there. There needs to be more evidence, of course, and I need to look into it some more myself, but I found that really cool. All right, I'll catch you guys later. See you tomorrow.